Hello, this will be a video documenting the user flow of a user from the Eng8 website, which is shown by this URL, all the way to the Eng8 web app. And then I'll have a further discussion around the sensitive and restricted scopes and how that data is used and accessed. So first, you'll go down here to click to access Eng8. Project number right here. All right, home page. Welcome to Eng8. Link to privacy policy. Here's the intro information to the Eng8 web script. Another link to the privacy policy. All right. So first, I want to discuss once a consumer creates an account through the Eng8 web app, that is when the Google Sheets and the Google Drive scope are initially used for the first time ever. So we'll go to Antoine McLean Jr. at gmail.com's Google Drive. As you can see here, the budget that was recently created at 10:20 p.m. was placed into their Google Drive. So the Sheets scope was used to create a copy of a budget spreadsheet, which then includes the information provided by the user. And then the Google Drive scope inserted the spreadsheet into the user's Google Drive. Also, in addition, in the case and scenario of a user of when Eng8 is updating a script and we're unable to input information to change a user's personalized spreadsheet through Google Apps Script, we would like to have access to the back-end copy, the personalized budget spreadsheet of each user. In the case and scenario that we're unable to change the makeup of the spreadsheet through the code, we're able to go in manually to the user's budget with their information and then edit the specific spreadsheet and make the adjustments that we intend to make. So that's what happens with the spreadsheet that is created from the spreadsheet scope is shared with Eng8 incorporated at gmail.com, and then it's also placed into the Google Drive of the user with the spreadsheet that was created for them based on the information that they inputted during that time. The next scope that I wanted to talk about was the user info.email scope. I know that that's not a sensitive or restricted scope, but I just wanted to show how the login information is used. So active user, that's the reason for the scope. it gets this specific Gmail of the user every time the script executes, inserts it here, and then goes through a matching function to find the spreadsheet URL connected to that Gmail. And then I'll also have the row just in case we need to use it for any other reasons. All right. Next, we have the external request. The external request scope, that's used for this function right here, where the script app is called, get service is called, then get URL. The reason that this is used is in the scenarios of needing to use the basis of the script's executing URL to then add on this question mark page and then equals the HTML page that we would like this button when clicked to direct to. And then we just insert the function set a variable in HTML using the JavaScript in HTML, and then using the variable here as a H reference. And then so whenever this button is clicked, it goes to that specific page. And what I can do is I can show what that looks like actually on the app. So on every page of the web app, there's a navigation bar at the bottom. Right now we're on the advice page. That's why it's page equals advice in the URL. Let's say we would like to head to the budget page. Once we make that click and we click onto the budget page, it's going to use this base executing URL right here. And then it's going to add the question mark page equals budget. And that's going to direct us to the budget.html file. And as you can see, bam, there it is. And yep, it also works for the account page where the base is used, and there's just question mark page equals account. All right. So that's essentially how all of those scopes are used. External request is used to get the URL that is used for buttons on a page. The spreadsheet scope is used to create a copy from this spreadsheet, which is then updated with the information relative to what the consumer inputted during the create account phase. And then the drive scope is used to put the spreadsheet into the user's Google Drive, so they will be able to have editing access, which is needed to execute the script and its full functionality. And they'll be able to see the back end of where their information is being stored at. And then it's also shared with us into the Eng8 incorporated at gmail.com Google Drive. So in the case of needing to manually manipulate each user spreadsheet, we will have editing access to do so. And then the user info email, that just helps us with our login system. All right. Yep. So that is essentially all of the scopes, how they're used. Also, I can go back to the actual code for the specific script. Here are the scopes in here. And anything else? Yep, the information regarding user info is just only accessed here, and then the spreadsheet, that scope, that information from that is used here in the URLs that we're able to store here, and then put into the code base here, which then uses sheet URL throughout this specific script, which is based on the function get URL, and then it goes through that full process of setting that active user email in the main Eng8 budget spreadsheet, and then getting the sheet URL, which is the column right next to it. The drive is not used unless a user has surpassed their next payment date and a new copy of a budget is created based on their old copy, and then inputted into their Google Drive and also into Eng8 incorporated Gmail's .coms, Google Drive. Spreadsheet is only used whenever it needs to be refreshed or a new spreadsheet that changes and updates with a change in the pay period for a user, which that's documented in examples here, where this is the most recent spreadsheet URL, and this was a previous spreadsheet URL for this specific user right here. And then external requests, that's just used to simply extract this full base URL all the way up to the exact point, and then in the HTML file we're able to take that information through the, I can actually go to one of these pages, take that information using the get URL JavaScript function, set in the variable URL, and then in our navigation bar as an example, use that variable URL, then set the page to equal budget. So when the budget is clicked onto, it navigates the user directly to the budget page. That's the only use of the external request scope. And that is it for all of the scopes. Thank you so much.